Thank you so much for joining us today. It's pretty exciting that we're going to talk to you all about accountants and an accounting firm for something a bit different.
Absolutely. Our pleasure.
So obviously we work very closely together on a whole heap of different matters in a whole heap of different ways to get results for clients. I personally think Float's pretty good and very unique in how you operate and how you are formed and how you work. Can you just tell everyone a bit about Float and how you came about and your philosophy?
Yeah, so look, Float was really born out of partners having experience in running businesses. The partners have been involved in operating and running businesses and consulting for quite a while. So we wanted to merge I suppose, the accounting expertise with the expertise of actually running and the experience of running a business. So yeah, that's where we were born out of, and that's what Float is focused on. Helping business owners be successful. And we kind of got the two avenues. One is the advisory, um, based upon the operational experience and setting up structures around a business owner so that they can be successful. And the other one is obviously good accounting, which is really, really important.
Yeah, and I think from my point of view, when we're working together, one of the big differences I see is that you are running a business that provides accounting services rather than just an accounting business. So you understand how businesses work, you understand what they need, and I suppose that leads into part of the discussion why we're here today. You understand about using specialists. How do you see and what sort of been the experience when we've worked together and when you're explaining to clients what the benefit is of using a specialist like Tax when negotiating these difficult debts?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Look, I think in general, I think you use the right term there with being specialised. The reality is, you can't be good at everything. There's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so it's really. I mean, we encourage business owners to, if you can get people that specialise in a real critical area, then that's usually the best way to go. It's not just about calling the ATO and asking for payment plans. Some of the clients that you're dealing with that we're dealing with have quite complex issues, and just having that experience and dealing with hundreds and hundreds of clients, obviously that certainly helps, and we've seen that in the results with our clients as well. And we really just what we do with Tax is we're working together as a team. It's not just about paying the client off. When we work together as a collective and we utilize that experience you've got in that space, that's where we're going to get a great result for the client, which we've seen obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I often call it working in parallel. We work in our lane and you work in yours. So I
Yeah.
think one specific example is sometimes clients will come to us, they don't really have an accountant, or their business has grown and they feel that they've outgrown their particular accountant at that point in time. They've got a whole heap of outstanding lodgements and they're really lost. And so I think that's a great example of how we've worked together because they're lost, they don't know where to turn, and you guys work to get all of those lodgements up to date. We obviously come in at that point. You can't get a payment plan with such outstanding lodgements, but we put them into an interim plan to protect them. You do the lodgements, we keep in contact together, we keep the ATO informed, and then once the lodgements are done and the debt's crystallised, then we jump in and get them a long-term payment arrangement. So we're still seeing those 3-year payment arrangements. From an accountant's point of view, how has the client reacted to that, and how has that process worked for you with both of us working in parallel?
Well, I think the client just feels like they've got a lot of support, and I think that's really, really important. If the client knows that there's a lot of experience around them, like you said, we're not talking about some smaller issues. We're usually talking about some pretty hefty issues that we're dealing with. So I think the client just feels a lot more supported, and I think that's really, really important. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you would see this too in business these days. Business is complicated. I think running a business, owning a business, whatever the space is compared to 10, 20 years ago, the specialization needed, and I'm sure you see this when you're helping clients, is very different. And so bringing a specialist in is now the norm. A perfect example, I think, would be like SEO or building a website or AI and the developments there that you can't be, it's impossible for you guys to do
No,
everything.
and that's exactly, look, that's what we're all about. So here, Flood Accounting and Advisory, we're all about creating an ecosystem for business owners. And anyone that says they're great at everything, there's alarm bells there already, because there's just not enough time to be a master at everything. So we try and get strategic partners like yourself who specialize in certain areas that we know deliver great results, but also treat our clients the way we expect our clients to be treated, and that works in line with our ethos as a company, which is a very personalised service. But yeah, we don't just do that in obviously the tax space. We've got a whole ecosystem, whether it be for brokers, if you need a loan for business working capital. So it's not just in this space that specialisation is really important. I think in general it's really important, and that's what we're trying to do. Just build an ecosystem for business owners. We've got great businesses around us, so a business owner feels like, you know what, I've got all the support I need around me to actually run a successful business.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think personally, from my point of view, that's the role of an advisor. And you're still the umbrella over the top, and then each person is brought in to deliver what they
Yeah,
need. And when you're looking at our service, we're often in and out within 4 to 6 weeks. So we come in, we fix a client, we clean it up, and we jump out again. And you continue to advise the client and look after them as you're moving forward.
yeah, yeah,
Another example of where we've worked together, often it's a new client, and something that I often see is clients that have entered their own payment plans. The ATOs rung them because they happened to be the first number on the portal. I've had a new matter where their debt was 250,000. Their interest was 130, so over half the debt, and they had agreed to a $5,000 a week payment plan, when really they should have been on about a 5,000 a month payment plan.
yeah. And I think this, I think this is something where getting the experience and advice, good advice, is really important, because probably business owners feel like they have to make a real quick decision, not realizing that entering into a payment plan with the ATO that they can't meet is actually the worst thing that they could probably do, because it's the end of the road after that. And that's where, again, Float Accounting come into it, you come into it, where it's giving that good advice and say, wait a second, we've got to go with something that's sustainable, because if you don't make this payment arrangement, you're going to cause yourself more headaches. So, you know,
So I think people feel very overwhelmed when they've got 3, 4, 5 years. It's all too hard. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn to. They don't even know where to start. So what sort of things would you say around that?
yeah, business is a very difficult thing to navigate through. The three partners here understand it, and we've been through some really challenging times. So the first thing I usually say to a business owner that has got a substantial dilemma is don't be embarrassed. It's not a blight on you, but the most important thing is that we got to do something about it. And I think a lot of business owners feel a bit embarrassed and try and procrastinate and put it off. But the hardest thing is taking that first step. And things can change pretty quickly. And I like to remind business owners about that. If you make some good decisions, get good people involved, in 3 months' time, the pain could be alleviated quite a bit. So things can change pretty quickly.
I've been talking a lot about my green frogs that have been coming around the countryside with me at the moment. And it really is a matter of eating the frog. You've got to do that thing you don't want to do. But then as soon as you do, you feel so much better. And
100%.
there have been a number of clients where you guys have come in, sorted out the lodgements. We come in and deal with the debt. And it's not a matter of if the ATO come knocking. I think it's really when. And being proactive could not be more important, because if you can jump on this debt and you control the process.
And you're right. Business owners think, oh, wait a second, I haven't heard anything. Maybe we'll just let it go.
Yeah. I'll just ignore
But
it.
it'll
Hopefully it
come,
won't happen.
and when it comes, it's probably not going to be convenient. So much better off taking control of the situation, feeling in control, and dealing with it your own way, rather than having the ATO tell you how they're going to deal with it. I think that's a really, really good rule to go by.